It is the pivotal Game 5, and we welcome you back to Staples Center once again. Joel Myers along with Stu Lance will head downstairs soon to Patrick O'Neill, Chris McGee, and well-deserved. This was just a couple of minutes ago. The J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award presented by the Basketball Writers Association, and well-deserved to Ron Artest for his tireless efforts to promote awareness of mental health. It was a fundraiser. He appeared before Congress, you might remember, in support of mental health in schools. And just a great gesture. And as I said, good to see him recognized for that. And Ron doing well, and he's recognized for his play on the floor in this series. He's been one of the consistent guys for the Lakers down on the baseline and hitting for a high percentage outside. Let's see what happens with Kobe. And that is the mystery going into the game. How much Kobe can play, how much he can give. We know he's going to be out there. You'd have to lock him up and throw away the key to keep him out of the lineup. So Phil Jackson says his team was punked in the last one because they were dominated inside on the board, second chance points, and he was the one who used the word punked, not me, but he was right on target. What a first half for Trevor Ariza, and what a job he did on defending Kobe. Don't forget about that. Landry has picked it up offensively. Okafor, the last two games, he's been able to stay on the floor. Bellinelli has struggled, and Monty Williams waiting for not only Bellinelli but also Jarrett Jack and Willie Green to help him offensively. So much of the load with Chris Paul, of course. As we head downstairs to Patrick O'Neill. Patrick.
Joel, thanks very much. Kobe Bryant refused an MRI, refused an X-ray on that left ankle, but there was never any question whether or not he was going to play. The question was, is it a foot is what he said after the Game 4 loss, or is it an ankle as the Lakers have him listed? Doesn't really matter because he's playing and everyone else has to step up. You know, Brian Shaw told me it's not the pick and roll that's killing them. It's getting outworked, out-rebounded, and Trevor Ariza, 12 first-quarter points, lucky bounces, allowing Chris Paul to hit buzzer beaters. But as far as number 24 is concerned, Ron Artest said it best, Joel and Stu, Kobe's Kobe. It's not even an issue because Kobe's Kobe, and he's going to come out and play. Guys?
Well, I think the biggest effect it's going to have on him in this game is not on the offensive end. It's going to be on the defensive end. If I'm the Hornets, I test him right from the start. Whether he's chasing people off of screens or whatever, I'm going to test that ankle right from the start.
Then do you start him on Bellinelli as opposed to Ariza, who's probably going to be more active?
No, I don't know. I think you still got to keep him on Trevor because Bellinelli, they run a lot of screens for Bellinelli. They don't run nearly as many screens for Trevor. Trevor's just active without the ball and attacking the rim, but they've got to focus on sending Trevor more to his left side of his body, not let him come to his dominant hand.
Derek Stafford, our lead official, will toss it up. Working with Ed Malloy, Rodney Mott, and Violet Palmer is the alternate. So we are set and we are underway at Staples Center with Game 5. The Lakers control it. They'll also have it to start the fourth. And now will they get their offensive act together? As they were limited, 43% shooting, only 88 points last game. And Romanum got there, tried to follow his own, and he will. So we knew he'd be aggressive. He had some comments letting everybody know, guaranteeing a win by the Lakers tonight.
If they keep pounding it into the bigs, I think they'll be okay.
On the curl of the dime, Trevor Ariza, and that's why I brought up, and you said active off the ball. He will be.
Yeah, and they set that first play up for him to come off of that off the weak side and curl to his strong hand. He gets an uncontested layup.
He had 16 points in the first half of Game 4. Now Pau Gasol, just about 12 feet away, trying to get downstairs. And on the fall away, he's got his first 2-point Laker lead. So getting him off early may be the key for Gasol. Getting him involved, some touches, and Bellinelli has already taken a shot.
Yeah, he's bleeding from the mouth area, nose probably, as again, he's battling on the interior with Ron Artest majority of the time, and he's going to win or lose that battle just about every time.
The Lakers losing that game in New Orleans 93-88, and you can see the elbow inadvertent as Artest. Watch the back end of the play. Right there.
He got him with the left side and then came back with the right side and hit him right across seemingly the bridge of the nose, and immediately there was some blood flow.
So to quote a movie, we've got a bleeder. Unfortunately, Bellinelli. They've got 30 seconds to get it stopped. And I brought up the fact that the Lakers did lose in New Orleans, game 4, and that's their first loss in New Orleans this year. They had taken the first 3. Overall, they're 10-4. So if the Lakers can get this game at home, then with so much success in that building, they've got to feel good about their chances of closing it out.
And Bellinelli's nose got hit, and blood flowed so rapidly. Having had my nose broken 5 times, normally when it's you get hit in the nose and it bleeds that quickly, there's a great possibility that you've got a break. But the way he's wiping it off, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, wants to stay in the game. Really a good young man. Talked to him right when he came up with the Warriors 4 years ago, their first-round draft choice out of Italy, and a real gentleman. He's been to Toronto, now with New Orleans, and I talked about his struggles from the outside. Much better shooter during the regular season. So Bellinelli staying on the floor, and they gave him the extra time, which is nice to see in a game of this importance.
Yeah, they did a good job too, though. But some of that extra time was mopping up the blood drops as he was walking from the end of the court to the bench. So they have to come out and make sure every drop is off the floor.
Bellinelli right after a shot to the nose. Did they wake him up? It's tied at 4. So they go to the guy that's still trying to wipe the tears from his eyes, and they were watered up after that shot to the schnoz. It's all even at 4. So Gasol already with the bucket, Bynum, and you can see the Lakers' MO as it's almost taken away by Ariza. Deep into the shot clock. Gasol saw it. It's going up. Bynum tries to get it. Okafor clears it away. And here comes Chris Paul. So they force Powell into a kind of a fall away deep into the shot clock. Ariza. And a 3-point lead. 7-4. Good spacing. Paul found him.
Well, Trevor starts off again knocking down his first perimeter shot. His first shot was a layup, but you don't want slashers to make perimeter shots because then you're really asking for trouble as the Lakers just inadvertently throw it back court as Kobe took his eye off of it and it went back court.
Turnover gives it right back to Paul and the Hornets. So they've got 3 baskets, and the guy with the ball in his hands has 2 assists. He comes in averaging 25.5 and 11.5 assists over the first 4 games. And he's shooting a very high percentage, too. Carl Landry got hit. And is he picking up a 2?
Contact.
Yeah.
So it seems like maybe.
They're going to take a timeout as there was a swipe, and did he lose a contact? 6 on the shot clock. Yes, exactly that.
Well, we'll go to a break. 9:39 still to play here in the first quarter, and the Lakers trailing early as Trevor Ariza has given them a 3-point lead.
Welcome back to Staples Center. The Hornets leading the Lakers by a score of 7-4. Now, ever since Sunday's win, the talk amongst the Hornets has been about the performance of former Laker Trevor Ariza. He finished with 19 points. 16 of those were in the first half. He single-handedly kept the Hornets in the game. But what has been more impressive to his teammates was his defense he played on Kobe Bryant. Kobe was 0 for 7 with 0 points in the first half. According to Monty Williams, his coach, he said it's his length, his athleticism, and how familiar he is with Kobe's game. Those have been the keys. Guys, you've known Trevor a long time. He wanted to remain a Laker. He's a modest, humble guy, Joel, but you know this means a lot to him.
He's very happy where he's at, but you're absolutely right, Chris. He did want to stay in L.A. He talks about it as recently as the last game. Little give and go, and off Okafor. Going to belong to the Lakers on the turnover. Would have been a shot clock violation. It'd been tough to get it out and on time. But here, watch the contact go right down. There it goes.
That's pretty good camera work, guys.
And what an eye. Carl Landry kept up with it. Artest and Bynum. Little mistimed jump there. Otherwise, Bynum's got it easily underneath. He dwarfs most of those guys. Now Okafor. And they're going to say walked with the basketball. He walked backwards, didn't put it down. And the outside official about 40 feet from the basket made the call.
Well, you have 3 of them. With 1 or 2 don't see it, the third one hopefully will, as he definitely shuffled his feet and turned it over.
Chris McGee was just talking about the defense of Trevor Ariza. So was Phil Jackson when they asked him about Kobe's 5 for 18. Phil was the guy at the dais after the game that said, give Trevor Ariza some credit for some great defense on Kobe too. Now Andrew Bynum in a foul before the shot. 2 hands in the back from Carl Landry. And a real tough matchup as Landry got it be given up at least 3 to 4, maybe 5 inches.
Yeah, they did a good job in the post and forcing the switch as Landry ended up trying to stop Andrew from coming across and picked up the foul.
Kobe. And Artest just getting his way, but didn't take it up. Now, challenge three. Fish got it. It's tied at 7. Derrickson on the board. So 3 of the 5 starters have scored. Now Landry matching up with Gasol. Good first step. He got inside. Carl Landry. And he's coming off a big game offensively. Landry was 16 and 7 boards. 16 on 11 shots.
But those are the kind of shots that Powell has to react to and get that quick up and reject it. He gives that one up flat-footed.
Okafor and a walk by Andrew Bynum. Tried to do it a little bit too quickly and jumped into the position.
So far, the officials right on the spot and make 2 good calls. The first one was on Okafor was traveling, and that one right there on Andrew was traveling.
Chicago eliminated Indiana earlier tonight, 116 to 89. It was a close game into the 3rd. And Chris Paul caught in the air, turns it over. He had 5 turnovers in game 3, uncharacteristic for him. Kobe starting to get warm, isn't it? As you can see. And Artest filling it up, putting the Lakers up by 1. So Ron Artest, and I talked about his efficiency, averaging 14 points and 6 boards a game on 52%. And 46% even better after that triple.
He's been the most consistent Laker thus far.
They beat Gasol. And again, Carl Landry. So Powell at 7 feet and Landry at about 6'8", 6'9" max. That quick first step gets him again.
Defensively is where the Lakers have to really make the difference in this game.
And Gasol's got a good first step of his own, and it stays home on the finger roll. So Gasol with his 2nd basket on his 3rd try with an answer.
And when you're on defense, you got to take it personal. You really have to take it personal. I know it's a team defense, but you have to take things personal.
Bellinelli wanted to go inside. Gasol had the angle that time on Landry. Now Ariza, and he's going hard to the hole and too hard. A charge. Gasol beat him to the spot. Turnover. Foul on Ariza, and the Lakers get it back.
He does a good job of lowering that shoulder, but Powell's there and hits him right in the midsection and forces the offensive foul. Nice job of rotating over and forcing the Hornets into their 4th turnover.
That's 4 already. The Lakers have 6 off the first 3, maximizing those opportunities. Now, can they do it again? Inside of 7. Left in this critical game 5 first quarter. Andrew Bynum showing a great face-up game, and it continues. That's the one area he really should work on over the summer. He's got such a great stroke, the 12 to 14 footer. 3-point Laker lead. Chris Paul yet to take a shot. Gets a break. And now Ariza free for 3. It stays home.
Well, boy, a break there. The Lakers, both Derrick and Kobe had a chance at that ball. Couldn't control it. It goes back to Chris Paul, and Trevor Ariza gets a 3 out of it.
He's got 8. Paul's got his 3rd assist, and it's popped free by Landry. As Powell is trying to back in. Chris Paul on the run. And sets up Trevor Ariza for points off the turnover and the easy one. So just like last game, Ariza killing the Lakers early. He's got 10 already.
10 on 4 shots. He's perfect from the field. 4 out of 4, and 2 of those from behind the arc.
Ariza, 3rd leading scorer in the postseason for the Hornets at 15 a game with 8 boards. Now Kobe draws the double. Fall away, heads to the line.
Bad foul by, I think it's going to be Carl Andrews. No, they do give it to Trevor. And you got a double team there. Why foul the jump shot shooter? So that's 2 fouls in a hurry or in succession on Trevor. First one was an offensive foul, and this one trying to block the shot by Kobe. Kobe will go to the line and shoot 2, trying to tie up this ball game.
So with Ariza going out, the Hornets get smaller. They lose a lot defensively as they bring in Willie Green. So that's a serious trade-off for New Orleans. A guy sits down with 10 points already, what he lends to them at the defensive end of the floor. And I talked about Willie Green and the way he's been struggling from the outside. So let's see if the Lakers can't make the most of it. Kobe misses the first free throw of the game for either side. And it's a 1-point game as he gets the 2nd. So just past the halfway mark of the opening 12 minutes of play at Staples Center. Now Chris Paul, mid-range game. And it was blocked. Fish got there, and it's saved by Bynum.
Boy, a nice job of recovering by Derek Fisher. He got picked off and did a great job of getting back to Chris.
Kobe with Landry on him, and Landry's got a foul already too. Gasol to the left. It stays out, and look at Chris Paul. Bynum was ready to go back up and brought it down, and Chris Paul took it away. Bellinelli's size on Fisher. The glass works. 18-15. It looked a little hot on our angle out of his hand, but it stayed home for Bellinelli.
When you're floating like that, it's always better to use the glass, and he did.
Andrew Bynum had it knocked away. Gasol on the trail, setting up Derek Fisher. Yes! Tied at 18. A break that time on the loose ball for the Lakers. They got the good stuff.
Well, they've got to get this defense down, though. They're allowing the Hornets 89% shooting from the field as Derek picks up his first foul. 89, 8 out of 9 from the field by the Hornets.
Not too bad to start. Yet it's tied at 18.
And Derek knocks down his second from long distance, or second basket. He's 2 for 2 from the field as he's open over there in the corner as Aaron Gray comes in, replacing Carl Landry.
He sits down. Landry with a foul. Gray there to fill space, give him some minutes, handing off into his opponents, and he was 3 for 3 last game. Now Kobe loses Willie Green, and Willie Green
offensive foul.
Cleared out, used the off arm. It'll go the other way. Another turnover, and that is the 5th giveaway. Monty Williams doesn't like it. Rodney Mott made the call.
Coming in, going up against Powell. The left arm, does it get away from the body? Just a little bit. That's I've seen worse offensive fouls, but the Lakers will take every break they can get.
1-point game. 9 turnovers combined already between the two teams. Andrew Bynum free on the post and way too strong.
Yeah, Emeka Okafor made him alter that one to the point where he didn't even draw iron.
Chris Paul. They funnel him. It worked that time. It got the ball out of his hands. Willie Green. Tough ball away. A little bit long. And it stays. Shooter's touch. Boy, it brought rain. It was that high. And that's off.
That's 2 shots from the Hornets that have bounced up there. The first one was a 3 by Trevor, and that one by Green.
So they stay on this hot 9 for 10 now. Andrew Bynum makes it a 1-point game again as Drew is up to 6 and 5. Spacing is Bellinelli. A little bit long and out of bounds. It'll belong, they say, for the Lakers. Okafor probably had a loose ball foul, and that's why it belonged to the Lakers, because it looked like it could have been off one of the either Kobe or Drew.
The Lakers want to take a timeout here, and there's 3:39 to go in the first quarter, and I'm sure Phil Jackson's going to, most of his comments are going to be regarding the defensive end as the Hornets are lighting it up. The Lakers are shooting 53%, but the Hornets 82%. And the Lakers trail by 1. They're fortunate to be down by only 1.
They've got a 3-2 lead going home after they were blown out in Orlando. And Chicago eliminates Indiana. And that's the first game out of the 5 games in that series that was decided by more than 6 points. That's how well Indiana played. Lamar Odom on the floor for the Lakers. Now with a quick jump hook. And Gray trying to keep it away. Does. But put it on the floor. What a mistake. Lamar popped it free. And a fresh shot clock and points off the turnover possibility for the Lakers.
Lakers have to win the 50-50 game too when there's loose balls as Lamar turns on the pivot. And if you turn on the pivot when a defender is coming by and you make contact, that is now a offensive foul. So they'll pick up the foul and give it to Lamar Odom.
So Kobe sits down with 3:08 left in the first 12 minutes of play. Are you surprised?
Not really. I mean, I think that they felt that they wanted to see what he could do early, and let's see what he does when he gets back, though.
Bellinelli challenged, but he got it anyway. And that was a good close by Ron Artest. 23-19, and they got Bellinelli going. He's got 7 on 3 of 4. And I talked about him coming in shooting just 30% over the first 4 games of this set. Now Shannon Brown out there for Kobe. With Fisher in the backcourt, early entry, and Lamar coming up short as Gray kept it away from Andrew Bynum. That's all he's in there to do, take up space between the rim and Drew. Fish on the overplay. Chris Paul in the mid-range game. It stays home, and all of a sudden a 6-point lead for the Hornets as they continue to just light it up. 11 of 13 from the field, 85%. Willie Green's got a foul. Away from the ball by a good margin.
called Willie. He said that he used a stiff arm on Shannon Brown as Shannon was coming down the floor, and kind of surprised not only Willie but Shannon as well, I believe.
So 2+ to play. 13 fouls. Still a foul to give inside of 2 for the Hornets. The Lakers have a foul to give. They've only got 1 foul so far in the contest. Artest runs into Gray. What a job he has done since he's come on the floor. And he also, there's the foul to give for the Lakers. 4 seconds inside of 2. It's on Ron Artest out of frustration.
What you have to do when you're posting up Ron Artest or anybody else, and Aaron Gray's in the game, you have to make sure they vacate that. The other guy, which would be Andrew, goes to the top, comes to the almost not to the free throw line, but into the middle midpoint, so that you've got an outlet. Can't stay on the opposite box because it's hard to see around Aaron Gray.
Jarrett Jack checking into the game. He hit the big bucket as Ron Artest sits down. Matt Barnes comes in for the Lakers. So Artest over to the bench. He's got his second foul. Jarrett Jack, as I mentioned, struggling. He hit that big shot, but it was his first make. He was 0 for 5 in game 4. And for the series, just 37% for the guard. Now, we talked about that island. Okafor at the foul line. They can't miss, can they? 12 of 14. 27 and 19, a 16-5 run right now for the Hornets.
Lakers aren't anticipating where that pass is going. When he's on that side, he being Chris Paul, he's looking for that bounce pass to Okafor. You've got to anticipate that.
It'll be Bynum shooting 2 on the easy call and the foul on Gray. Chris Paul, by the way, has 7 assists already.
He's doing the job that he's been doing all series long, whether it's scoring or assist or both, as Derek finds Andrew and Andrew finds Aaron Gray for the foul. So 2 free throws coming to Andrew Bynum, trying to put a little bit of dent in this 8-point deficit.
Does exactly that with the first of 2. Well, go to Lakers.com for a virtual tour of the all-new Toyota 4Runner with the Laker girls. And you can enter for your chance to win an autographed team basketball. All you have to do, head over to the website, click on the Toyota banner on Lakers.com, enter to win right now. It's all courtesy of Toyota, suiting up with the Lakers for over 34 years.
Minute and a half to go in the quarter, and the Hornets are shooting 86% from the field.
Andrew Bynum came through at the line, gets 2 free throws.
It all goes back to that end of the floor for the Lakers. It's all about the defense.
And the Hornets don't have a free throw attempt, so they've got nothing to the line. All of it from the field. Now trying to get the ball, and it's going to be a block on Blake. A free throw coming up for Chris Paul. So impeding the progress is what they're saying, and Chris Paul will head over to the free throw line.
But Chris Paul is just so clever. He changes directions, creates that contact, knocks Steve Blake about 5 feet off of him, and Steve gets called for the foul. Steve didn't like the call, so Chris Paul will be shooting a pair.
27 points, 15 assists, 13 rebounds in the last one. His second career playoff triple-double. It was, believe it or not, as good as he is. His first triple-double overall since December of 2009. And I mentioned that, Stu, because to me, the Russell Westbrooks, the Derrick Rose, they're scoring guards. They're great quick guards, but this guy's a true lead guard.
This guy can just dissect you any way that he sees necessary. He doesn't have to score. He can get you and beat you with the assist, or he can beat you with both.
Jason Smith, third-year Colorado State, comes in. Gray going for the steal, and not only got the rebound, but challenged the shot by Gasol. 8-point game after the free throws by Chris Paul. And trying to weave some magic once again. Short that time.
Only their 3rd miss of the quarter.
Pau Gasol leaks out, and Lamar over the top. Good look by Lamar to Gasol.
If the Lakers could get one more stop here and then another scratch, they'd feel pretty good about being down only 5 or 4 after giving up this kind of offensive display.
High screen and roll. Chris Paul almost losing the handle. Smith, boy, what a jump shot. Guy that's about 6'10", 6'11", and he displayed that in the last one. 31-23.
So much for the stop.
81%. I can't remember seeing a team this hot in a game this big. Shannon Brown and Chris Paul and the Hornets are going to have the final shot. But 13 of 16, 81%. The Lakers lucky it's an 8-point game.
And everybody that they've put in basically has made a contribution on the offensive end. Aaron Gray and Jarrett Jack just haven't attempted a shot yet.
Got to go in a hurry. Jack on a little crease, and he got fouled. got Shannon Brown in the air. 0.4 of a second. What else could go wrong?
The Lakers are going to go out of this quarter possibly down by double digits, and things looking very, very dim as far as what they're going to do to change the defensive end. You've got to be able to make some adjustments. You can't just work under the assumption that they're not going to shoot a high percentage all game long.
Jared Jack helps him with the free throw line, where he's now 10 of 15 in the series. So 9 assists on 13 makes. 8 of those 9 belonging to Chris Paul. And that's going to do it on the pass for Matt Barnes in a 50-50. Matt Barnes going up for it with a couple of small guards, but they're not going to give him a whistle on that play. And so that'll do it. And
with .4, basically all he could do was almost tap it. They would have allowed him to catch it and throw it up. Lakers have their work cut out for them. 36 minutes of basketball left here in Game 5, and they trail by 9. Started the second quarter, Lakers trailing by 9, 32-23. Game 5 of this best-of-7 contest. And you know, when you look at the history of the playoffs, when it's tied at 2-2, the team that wins Game 5 goes on to win 83% of the time. Lakers are going to have to do something to keep their 19-0 streak working, because the Hornets are for real. I mean, they are shooting the lights out. One of the reasons why Chris Paul has 8 assists. Everybody is knocking down jump shots, and that's what an assist is. A pass that leads directly to a basket. And Chris Paul has been a recipient of some real nice shooting by his teammates, and especially that man, Trevor Ariza, who hasn't missed yet from the field. In only 6 minutes, he had 10 points but picked up 2 quick fouls.
Hornets have the basketball to start the second quarter of play. Well, Trevor Ariza has said that he hasn't waited for the game to come to him anymore. He's trying to be more aggressive. That's his mindset. It's definitely paid off the last 2. It'll be Chris Paul staying on the floor with Jason Smith. Quick shot and a pop, and it stays out as Lamar tried to get over there. A little pick and pop action. 32-23. Barnes wanted to go in. It was fronted, though. Lamar Odom, man, he's held on the entry as he had a seal on Smith.
It's a good thing that the foul was called when it was, because any kind of a beat, and it would have possibly been a 3-second violation on Lamar. He did a real good job of sealing, but all that time was spent in the paint.
Monty Williams has been talking to the league office. He's been petitioning Lamar. Nifty move, little up and under. So, and Monty Williams has been talking about 3 seconds and wondering why the Lakers have not been called for 3-second violations. Well, it didn't work because he did it before the last game, and the Lakers weren't called for 3 seconds in Game 4. 32-25, 7-point deficit for the Lakers. And they walk away from Jared Jack. That's a break. He split that double out top without any resistance.
And one of the other reasons why Chris Paul has been so fresh and effective is they don't really go at him defensively, so make him do anything.
Shannon Brown from downtown. 4-point game just like that. From 9 down to 4. Hornets trying to score for the first time here in the second 12. Chris Paul throws it away. He's got another turnover, and for the Hornets, there's 7.
Well, Chris Paul will get that turnover, but that one should be on Smith. The pass looked like it was intended straight for him, and obviously he thought it was going to Jared Jack. He let it go, and it kept going right out of bounds.
Second turnover for Chris Paul. So 12 turnovers combined between the two teams. It's tipped away, Bellinelli. And Chris Paul, you're not shooting at half court, buddy. I don't care how hard you sell it. It's coming in on the side. You can't complain about that, or they'll never listen to you. So a 32-28 game. It'll come in on the side. Trevor Ariza checking back into the game.
What I meant about attacking Chris Paul, you know, sometimes you have to put something out there where you run him and make him have to either switch, so he's guarding someone who's thinking real offensive minded.
Jason Smith putting the ball in his hands where he doesn't want to make decisions. Now 10 on the shot clock for Jared Jack. Coming off the pick. Deep in the clock, Ariza gives it up. It'll be a deep three. Bellinelli That's it. Bad shot for the Hornets. Good D that time. The Lakers with Chris Paul off the floor. A little bit of a difference. Shannon Brown's got a triple. Thought he was ready to come off that one. And Lamar Odom. Isolation. Deep at the clock, going up over Jason Smith. Stays out. Man, Matt Barnes took it away from the smaller Jared Jack.
Nice hustle by Matt. He tracked that one down from the time it left Lamar's hands.
Shannon Brown. Another triple. So the Hornets have not scored here in the second quarter.
Well, Monty Williams wants to talk it over, too.
They're a different team when number 3 sits down.
And I don't think number 3 will be on the bench very much longer if the Lakers continue. They're on a 8-0 run to start this second quarter after trailing by 9. Obviously, the math tells me that they're only down by 1. And Shannon has hit 2 big baskets from behind the arc. The first one in front of the Laker bench, and then the next one straight away. He's been in 7 minutes. He's got 6, and the Lakers are down 1.
Well, the mood on the Lakers bench has gone from despondent after the first to now slightly more upbeat thanks to an 8-0 run on Patrick O'Neal. We showed you at the start of the game Ron Artest winning the J. Walter Kennedy Award for his dedication to community service. It's presented by the National Writers Association. Shout out to our friend Kevin Dink from the OC Register. Ron has worked so hard to bring awareness to mental health issues, and it's been a roller coaster. Ostracized for his role in the brawl known as the Malice in the Palace. You know, he told me that he was scarred mentally after that, but he has gone a long way to heal himself. That award, by the way, will be at his new restaurant in Pasadena, Salad Dish. It's a healthy alternative, Joel and Stu. A lot of salad and lettuce, and healthy, that's the word that's working for Ron right now.
And Ron's also said that he's not a fanatic like he used to be. He'd go on a bike or he'd work out and he'd be on a treadmill after games or he'd go into the weight room. And he says, I'm older now. And Phil Jackson's tried to get him to slow down too. So trying to conserve the energy. Aaron Gray on the inbounds.
Well, Lakers had a chance at that loose ball. Powell tipped it, but just wasn't able to step forward to get it, and that ends up in a jump ball. So the Hornets will control the tip as it's Gray going up against Steve Blake.
And Gray did a good job to go down. Otherwise, it looked like the Lakers were going to control it. And Gray, with 14 on the shot clock, will keep it with the Hornets. They have not scored yet. Almost 3 minutes into the second quarter. They're 0 for 3 from the field. Lakers 3 of 4. Terrible pass by Trevor Ariza. Shannon Brown for the lead. Right back to Jared Jack. So he had already had 2 triples. He's got 6 and 2 boards in limited minutes off the bench.
Last play by Trevor, he was kind of mad at himself, which he should have been. That was a telegraphed bad pass.
Landry off the bench. It almost looked like an air ball out of his hands. Just drew the front of the rim. Matt Barnes leaks out and follows his own. Lakers right now on a 10-0 run have a 1-point lead.
Nice job of running the floor. Matt's got to finish that first one. Missed it, but was able to tip in his own miss.
Okafor, next whistle, he comes back into the game. And another awful pass. They'll call it a kick, I believe, though, and it will be. But still the diagonals from long distance by the Hornets.
That last play, Matt Barnes leaking out. And one person, one play. Well, that one person is Matt. Misses the first one, but able to tap in his own miss and get the deuce that put the Lakers up by a point. Nice job of running the floor by Matt Barnes.
Aaron Gray sits down with 5 rebounds in 9 minutes. And Emeka Okafor back on the floor.
Toby comes back, replacing Shannon Brown, so his assignment is Trevor Ariza.
Jared Jack finding Willie Green, who's got to go in a hurry. Shot clock down. And that is their first bucket almost 4 minutes into the second 12 minutes of play. A 1-point lead for New Orleans. They had started the game 13 of 16. They're now 14 of 21, still hitting 2/3 of their shots. Kobe set up. And on the run out, he's got it. Well, sitting down and coming back on the floor, and that's what Phil Jackson was talking about before the game, and especially at the start of the second half, once he cools off and has to try to get warm again.
Well, he looked like he was pretty warm on that one. Did a nice job with the flyby and then knocked down the 17-footer.
Inside of 10 of the shot clock. Okafor. And losing the handle. Jack's got to go up, and he won't get it off in time. Steve Blake, enough resistance early. So another turnover. That's 9 already on New Orleans.
In about the next minute, you will see CP3 back on the floor. Matter of fact, next dead ball, as Monty Williams just nodded to him, let's go.
He played the first 14 minutes of the game. Now Kobe, isolation against Trevor Ariza. Green shades on the follow-away. An air ball picked up by Jared Jack.
They can't get any lift on that. That's a patented Kobe Bryant move there, and that time, nothing but air.
Jack on the crossover.
Offensive foul.
Bore down on Steve Blake. Ran him off with the off arm, kind of lowered his shoulder in there.
Well, Jared Jack says, well, you let Chris Paul get away with that. How come I can't get away with it? Fisher said, well, you're not Chris Paul.
That's 10 turnovers. Well, the Lakers have 8 points off the first 9. So 10 turnovers compared to the Lakers' 6 turnovers. And both teams were real clean in the last game. Not many for either side. It was 10 for the Hornets, 11 for the Lakers. Kobe wanted to put it inside. Gasol never turned around. He was looking at Powell. Now Ariza. And they wanted to walk. They won't get it. But Willie Green will get a dunk out of it. 36-35. And did he walk?
Well, he's trying to tie his shoe. The Lakers ought to force it up and make him run without his shoelace being tied.
Gasol into it and then barking into the official after he thought he got a knee in the back from Okafor. Extra pass, Barnes for 3. And Lamar Odom may have gotten away with one. Loose ball. Gasol's going to the line.
Oh, I thought Lamar did get away with one.
It looked like a shove in the back, didn't it?
Right in the back of Carl Landry, it seemed. A little aggression out there as Ron Artest is getting ready to check back in along with Derek Fisher. Powell will be going to the line to shoot free throws. This is only the 5th and 6th free throws for the Lakers in the game, and the first for Powell.
82% at the stripe over the first 4 games. You see what he's done. And he misses the first. And I'm talking about what he's done from the field, which is only 39% on a 12-point average. Well, the new Lakers debit card is here. Use it all over town. And log on to Lakers.com right now to sign up for the new Lakers debit card. It's available exclusively from One West Bank, the official sponsor of the Lakers. So Pau Gasol now trying to tie things at 36. A lot of talk down there. Carl Landry was upset, so he was politicking one way. And that was because of the Lamar Odom shove at the back. The Lakers have Odom, Artest back into the game, Kobe, Fish, and Gasol. So 4 of the 5 starters. Lamar, 6th man of the year, is the only non-starter. Landry, Paul, Green, Ariza, and Okafor for the Hornets. It's all even at 36.
Hornets still shooting 68% from the field.
Willie Green trying to get by Kobe. And got the little floater. 38-36. So Willie Green, surprisingly, has given them 8 in 6 minutes on 4 of 4. Kobe, some space, and the bucket. He broke it off, and boy, stopped on a dime. Kobe now with 5 points. He's only taken 3 shots. Chris Paul on a pretty good carry. Now he's got Gasol on the switch. Ariza. And Lamar. Can he hang on? Finally he does. He tried to squirt free with Landry behind him.
Feels the inside play that the Lakers got to get back to. With Powell in the game, got to get in on the inside.
Kobe. And loose ball inside, a hold on Willie Green. That's what Artest will do for you with the ball in the air.
Ron Artest has been overpowering just about everybody they put on him in this series. And there's another case where he gets it on the inside to call. We go to the timeout. 5:14 to go in the half. Knotted at 38.
Welcome back to Staples Center, all tied up 38-38. Now with the Hornets down 2-1 in the series, last Saturday, head coach Monty Williams went into his bag of tricks looking for some motivation. He showed the team an 8-minute YouTube clip. It's called The Battle at Kruger National Park. Over 60 million hits. It's an amateur video shot in a safari in South Africa. It shows a pack of about 6 lions attacking a baby water buffalo known as a calf. They're attacking it for about 5 minutes. To top it all off, a crocodile comes out of the river and tries to pull the calf calf into the river. It is absolutely brutal. Just when it looks like it's all over for the calf, a herd of about 200 water buffalo come over, surround the lions. They attack, chase them away, and save the calf's life. Monty said his message to the guys was to never give up. He wanted to show the guys that no matter how tough they could be, if they stick together, no matter how much the advantage that the Lions might have. Joel, I asked him tonight if he needed any kind of motivation. He said no. Game 5 was enough. Joel, Stu, I know that was a long story, but it's worth the 8 minutes. Go check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen it, and we read the story. It's a very good one, and there's a reason 60 million people have seen it. It's not for everyone, though, of course. Tied at 38 after the miss, and a tough miss for Andrew Bynum. Bellinelli back in there, skipping to the cross. Trevor Ariza gets the triple and a 3-point lead. So Ariza's first points over the last 6 minutes he's been on the floor, because he had to sit down with 10 points over his first 6, and he had the 2 fouls.
He was naked over there in the corner in the cross-court pass. He was able to catch it and just elevate it.
Kobe, a little strong. Artest kept it alive. Gasol had it deflected on its way down. And it's Carl Landry on the goaltend.
See, now, that's the kind of play I talk about with aggression. That's one's Powell has to get those and dunk it. Don't try to just put it up there nice and soft, because guys are leapers. Fortunately, he gets the call for the goaltend.
Was it a goaltend?
Very well. Could have not have been.
Yeah,
I mean, it was close. That's why like you have to dunk the thing.
Yeah, it looked like it was really going up. 1-point game, 68% shooting. What's really helped the Lakers 12-0 after that bucket in second chance points. So Ariza going by Artest and Gasol. Gasol saved it that time, as Ariza thought there was going to be contact. It wasn't there. Now Kobe again. Entry poked away by Okafor. And a run out. Ariza coming up. And he counts it. Didn't put it back down. It'll be a continuation play. A long one at that for a guy with length, Trevor Ariza.
Now that's continuation in the NBA. Kobe thinks he's taking the foul out front, which he did. But the whistle sounds and Ariza doesn't dribble again. Just takes the long step, gets to the hoop, gets a 3-point opportunity. That's continuation in the NBA.
That's points off turnovers. 11-8 right now, and make it 12-8 in favor of New Orleans, despite the fact New Orleans has 2 more mistakes.
And again, it's the Trevor Ariza first half that's killing the Lakers. He's got 16 on 8 shots.
That's exactly what he had, though, in the first half in New Orleans. 16, finished with 19. The double and a quick flash, but Paul got back in time. Now Kobe trying to make Ariza, and he does! Throws it down big time! So the landing, everything, and he's bouncing around like he never suffered a foot injury. It'll be a hold and a foul coming up, but still they're buzzing after Kobe exploded through the paint.
Well, that's a little anger play there. He takes off and takes it right at Okafor. That's what I'm talking about. If you're going to get in there, go in for a reason, not just a season. He just gets on the launch pad, goes up, off of 2, protecting that bad ankle and hammering one.
2-point game, and the crowd is alive and well right now at Staples. Ariza with a fall away, tough shot, and Okafor taps it. Kobe's got it. The Lakers out rebounding by 6 now. The Hornets 17-11. And it was a +7 as Kobe spins, glasses, ties it up at 44.
Well, he's got a peek out of the corner of his eye of Bellinelli coming on the double team, and that's another one of his patented moves. He does a spin, splits the double team, gets to the rack.
He's got 9. Chris Paul getting Bynum out of position. He had contact, doesn't get the call. Bynum gets the block, the ball, Fish going the distance, and a Laker lead. 46-44. Pace is picked up, and it hasn't bothered the Lakers at all.
And now they need another stop. Then momentum will really be in their corner. But getting the stop with Chris Paul directing the show, not very easy to do.
He waits for the Landry kick. Man, off the shin of Fisher. He didn't kick it. Paul put it right off his shin. Another turnover, the 11th for New Orleans. Now the mismatch. Kobe. They take it out of his hands for a wide open 3. Fisher. No. And it's picked up by Chris Paul with a travel.
He tried to jump back to get contact.
He's got contact, but he doesn't get the runner. And it's going to be free throws out of the timeout, while Chris Paul will try to tie it when we come back.
Well, Kobe's got this crowd all pumped up right now, and it happened on the play where he gets it, takes off at 2 feet, and throws one down on Emeka Okafor. Little flashback there, and hopefully we can see more of that as this game continues.
We're outside at Star Plaza. Lakers lead by 2 in just a matter of moments at halftime. Kurt Rambis and Norm Nixon will be joining me out here for the Jack in the Box halftime report. We'll talk about the Lakers overcoming the Hornets' fast start. How about Trevor Ariza? He's going nuts with 16. Kobe, obviously, more than just gutting it out. We'll have the poll question, analysis, highlights with Kurt and Norm. Let's go back inside. You know, that was a flashback, Kobe, at that 3.5-minute mark to not only the Kobe of old, Stu, but how about the Kobe of the All-Star game? We saw him do a little bit of that here a couple of months ago.
Yeah, we sure did, and that shows you one thing, that the guy has one of the biggest hearts I've ever been around, because playing with pain is something that he has done repeatedly, and he is making a real concerted effort right now to get the job done, as he's got his team up by a point as Chris Paul knocks down the first of 2.
Tries to tie it up as the Lakers have outscored the Hornets now by 10 here in the second quarter. A couple of things that really stand out. The Lakers have out-rebounded them 18-12. They have 8 offensive boards, none so far for New Orleans. So they're dominating the glass, dominating second chance points 12-0.
Well, the Hornets come out in a zone. Let's see how the Lakers attack it.
Kobe by Bellinelli. Floats. Boy, glides his way for a nice 6'8" footer. 48-46. Kobe, the first Laker in double figures, but great balance across the board for the Lakers. Kobe's got 11, 9 for Gasol, 8 for Bynum, 7 for Derek Fisher.
And Kobe's moving a lot better right now than he was to start the game. Maybe the ankle has loosened up a bit.
Ariza, a prayer is not answered.
Good secondary help that time by Andrew Bynum.
Ariza now 6 for 10. He leads the Hornets with 16. So the final minute and 10 seconds. Kobe over Bellinelli. And kept alive by Bynum. As Artest got caught in the air but found a teammate. Fish sets it perfectly. Andrew Bynum on the dunk. Derek Fisher on the assist.
Derek read that seam and attacked it, drew the big to him, and found Andrew. That's good basketball.
So the Lakers now, with their biggest lead of the game, they're up by 4. Landry. It'll be Paul. Gets the triple. So you've got to worry about him because of what he's done in the second half. He's got 9 now, and I bring it up because only had 4 in the first half of the last game. But 23 of his 27 came in the second half. They leave Fish momentarily. He gets there.
That time, Okafor was afraid to leave Andrew and just gives up the layup. You have to make the play, though, Emeka.
Chris Paul thinking 2 for 1. And on the baseline, about a 2.4 second difference. So he may not get that 2 for 1, but he still gets the bucket in double figures, second from the Hornets. They get there in double figures with 11.
There are times when he does things like this that you think he can score whenever he wants.
And he does seem to be more aggressive in this series, looking for his own shot in the second half. He's only taken 6 so far. Kobe all the way to the cup. They didn't get there in time again, so the Lakers with a kind of a layup drill in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, but Chris Paul surveying what's he want to do here. Here comes a 3. A basket.
It'll be a 15-footer and a good challenge by Derek Fisher. So the Lakers, after trailing at the end of the first quarter, 32-23, take over in the second 12, and Kobe had 12 in the second quarter alone.
Well, he did a good job of firing up this club, and that really got them going here. And this is a guy that historically has been able to do things that a lot of people think you can't do that again.
So the Hornets shoot 61%, the Lakers 51%. The Lakers lead by 3 at the break, 54-51 as we head outside to Bill McDonald, Norm Nixon. Time for the Jack of the Box halftime report. Halftime in Southern California continues, and after the Lakers trailed by 9 at the end of the first 12 minutes of play, at the break they lead by 3 over the Hornets in pivotal game 5, 54-51. And welcome back once again. Joel Myers along with Stu Lantz. So the biggest difference right now, the way the Lakers are controlling the paint, a +12 in points to the paint and a +14 in second chance points.
And that's been the motto of the teams that have won the game so far in this series. The teams that have won the battle of the boards and the battle of the scoring in the paint have really done the job, and the Lakers did a good job. You know, Fish did a real nice job of executing his plays, getting it into the paint. And if you can get your share of the easy ones, it makes it a lot easier to score and win against a 5-on-5. But the play in the paint that caused the most stir was that one, when Kobe went at Emeka Okafor, bad ankle and all, and threw it down. But for the Hornets, again, it's Trevor Ariza. I mean, back-to-back games where he is just feeling as confident as confidence can be from the perimeter. And you add that into his slashing game, you've got a problem. Chris Paul, well, Chris Paul is Chris Paul. 11 points, 8-9 assists. This guy is just remarkable. He can do whatever he wants, seemingly whenever he wants to do it. So the Lakers are going to have to really pick it up on the defensive end in the second half. If you're the Hornets and you shoot 61% and you're down, you have to wonder what the second half has in store for you. And I think a lot of things are going to be in store for them. Let's go down courtside now to Patrick O'Neal. Patrick.
All right, Stu, thanks very much. Saw Kobe Bryant coming out of the locker room with a full sweat like a prize fighter. I think he's ready. Also spoke with Jim Clemens about the first half. He said New Orleans shot the ball so well, that surprised him, but they had no offensive rebounds and therefore no second chance points. Also said that rim down there was awfully kind to them in the first half. Hopefully it's good to the Lakers here in the second. Let's go to Chris McGee.
Thanks, Patrick. Monty Williams said turnovers and second chance points are killing the Hornets. It's like a reversal from game 4, he said. He said they're getting beat to the ball. I said, how do you address it? He said, bottom line, Joel, got to get a body on them, locate and box out. We're losing the 50-50 game.
Well, that's the difference right now for the Lakers. And you're talking about the opportunities, that the balls that scored free, the long rebounds, and it seemed like they got every one of them in game 4. Well, let's see if it will continue for the Lakers. Let's face it, the Hornets were jump shooters in the first 12 minutes of play. Tried to continue that, couldn't hit at the wild percentage they were at. And the Lakers got to the rim. So they attacked the basket much more than the Hornets in the second 12, and that was the difference.
Well, they come out attacking Powell right away with Landry.
And with the left hand, he won't get the roll. Andrew Bynum will get the board. So Patrick mentioned that Kobe came out lathered up. You got to believe that he was doing something into the back to stay warm, stay loose.
Yeah, you got to keep that ankle nice and loose when you've got a bad one. Or any body part for that matter.
Inside of 10 of the shot clock. Tough catch for Artest. Now Fish is going to have to go. Deep 3, uncontested though. He's got it. Boy, a total breakdown. Nobody ran out on Derek Fisher. Give Fish credit, the recognition. So Derek Fisher now with 12. The backcourt of the Lakers combining to go 11 of 16. Kobe and Fish at 25 points. Now Bellinelli gave it up. It'll be Ariza trying to get in rhythm and stays out once again.
Boy, he get tapped on that one. Can't go down any further and come back.
So he had 16 in the first half last game, 16 in the first half tonight. He only had 3 points in the second half of game 4. Gasol and Bynum, and it'll be knocked out of bounds by Landry from behind.
Well, good recognition by Powell, but Andrew didn't see Trevor Ariza on the backside and Carl Landry in front, and they make the play. But Andrew saying that he got hit on the play despite the fact that from behind they made a play.
Now 5 of the shot clock. Kobe with Andrew Bynum, and he got it off in time. Lakers have their largest lead. In fact, they've got 5 unanswered to start the second half of the first 90 seconds of the third.
And they've got to keep this kind of intensity going on both ends of the floor, because this is something where they fall asleep at times, and that's when they allow the opposition to make the big run.
Now Landry, again isolation, setting it up, man. Okafor from Carl Landry. The Lakers have never lost a game 5 at home when the series has been tied at 2 games apiece. In fact, in these situations, they have a record of 22-0. They're up by 6 right now, 2 minutes into the third. 10 of the shot clock. Artest on the fall away. Good luck. Ron Artest. He's only taken 4. He's hit 2. He's got 5.
Ron likes to shoot that thing floating one when he's going to his left. Knocked that one down easily.
Landry again. All the touches early against Pau Gasol, and a defensive 3 against the Lakers, and it's probably Kobe.
They are making
Artest or Kobe.
They are making a concerted effort to really get Landry going against Powell. Landry only 2 out of 4 from the field thus far.
So Chris Paul, second trip to the foul line, where he's now 2 for 2. So he's got 12 points. in a 7-point Laker lead. And is it going to be a 3 or 4 point trip for the Hornets?
They'll probably come right back to that same play where they throw it in ISO Landry.
Chris Paul giving up the dribble. Now deep into the shot clock. It'll be Landry again. Man, foul. Will it be Bynum or Powell from behind?
Looks like it's going to be Powell.
Yeah, he shoved him from behind once he got beat. Andrew came over to try to challenge. So Landry going to the free throw line where he has been exceptional for this team, hitting 24 of 25. It's his first trip to the stripe tonight.
You know, in this game of basketball, it's all about matchups. There are certain players that you have confidence against, that you have good success against, and there's others that you don't, obviously. And right now they must feel that Landry is confident against Powell because they are really attacking.
At the free throw line, 7 of 9 for the Hornets. Well, the Lakers are 4 of 6. And the Lakers doing a number on them. We talked about points in the paint. Also second chance points. The Lakers are a +16, and remember they lost that battle by 16 in game 4. They were outscored 20-4 in second chance points. Dominant right now, and the Hornets don't have one second chance opportunity tonight.
Well, if you can keep that up, that's just remarkable, because I don't know if I've seen a game where a team goes the whole game without an offensive rebound.
61-55. Lakers by 6. Derek Fisher on his weak side.
I'll see if Powell attacks.
Yeah, he's got the size and he's got the ball away. Just turned right to the paint. More points to the paint for the Lakers. So Pau Gasol has not scored more than 17 in any game of this series, averaging 12 and 6, coming in already with 11. And that's 11 on 5 for 9. Good percentage. Just don't forget he's shooting below 40% for the series. Okafor. And blocked away, timed perfectly. Now Landry
off his knee.
Yep, out of bounds. Back to the Lakers. Turnover number 12 for the Hornets.
And that's the reason why I say, and I've said it many times, that with Emeka Okafor guarded by Andrew, you don't have to send that secondary defender. Let Andrew have him. It makes your team defense that much stronger.
Bellinelli trying to help out. 10 of the shot clock. Kobe. Good first step. And what the left hand throws it down. So
a lot of flashbacks tonight.
A serious right-hander down the middle of the paint in the first half, and the message early in the second half.
Boy, that's beautiful. Off the right leg with the left hand, he says, I got 2 wings, and I'm going to show them both to you.
The Lakers with their first double-digit lead of the game, up by 10, 65-55. Chris Paul deferring, not aggressive on the jumper. Bellinelli, and picked up by Gasol. Well, Chris Paul is trying to get others involved. Eventually, he's going to have to start shooting for this team again.
And he will start doing that just as soon as he recognizes that, well, I've given him enough time.
Fought away for Kobe. Man, Andrew Bynum looked like his length was going to take it away, but Okafor, good position. Now Chris Paul. They take the ball out of his hands. Carl Landry. They've isolated him early. Artest came over, it's blocked away, he stays with it, and can't get the second. He's looking for contact. It was hard, and he never got a whistle. Everything working for the Lakers right now, early in the third. Man, out of bounds. Kobe trying to get it to Gasol, who's looking for a lob, and it was a fast ball high and wide.
Got to limit those kind of turnovers, though.
It's a 9th of the game on the Lakers compared to 12 for the Hornets. And a hook. Foul. And free throws coming up. As soon as the whistle, you saw what Chris Paul did. He didn't care what it looked like. It was going up.
It's a very heady play by a very heady player. Well, you just like to see that out of your leader. Got a leader that plays the game with that much intelligence. It makes everything else that much easier.
He misses at the free throw line. Chris Paul, his first miss at the stripe. The third for the Hornets, 8 of 11. There was a stretch in game 4 in the 4th where he was the only one that scored. That stays after tantalizing a little bit and sliding around. 65-56. So the disparity, 2 for 1 right now in attempts for the Hornets. When it comes to the free throw line. Artest asking for it. up against Bellinelli on the attack. Man, layup every time against Bellinelli.
Well, he's going to get it. He seems like he can get a good shot against Bellinelli.
Chris Paul breaking it down. Bellinelli for three. He got it that time. Kobe closed, but a little bit late. It's down to 8 after it got up to 11.
When you're guarding Bellinelli, though, on the weak side, you can't get too many steps away from him because you know the ball is going to get swung around to him, and you've got to be able to be there without having to close that rapidly.
Bellinelli has given them 10. So I talked about what he's been missing, and especially over the last 3 games. He was just 7 for 28, but tonight is 4 of 7. Okafor staying in the neighborhood, but now Kobe backpedaling. Set it up and hit the rim on the lob. And because it hit the rim, a fresh shot clock, but it's taken away anyway. And now numbers favoring Chris Paul. He wants Bellinelli and more from him, and he gets more from him. So you can see the MO of Chris Paul.
Well, but you have to know when you're in transition. In the old day, you ran and protected the paint. Now guys stop from behind the line, know your opposition, and go where they are.
Bellinelli now 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. 10 on the shot clock for Derek Fisher. Not a bad idea, but Artest challenge. Got it anyway. It was Okafor who came over to help out. That was a tough shot.
Well, Ron has made some real big shots in this series, and that one just the same.
Trevor Ariza right on the arc. Hot hand belongs to Bellinelli, though. A clear out for Carl Landry. He's not been able to produce the way they wanted, but he got there that time and reversed it home.
But he's getting around Powell way too easy. Way too easy.
He's only got 7 points so far in 23 minutes. 5-point game, 69-64. Kobe looking over on Bynum's side. And now gets there. And on his way down, flips it home. Wow. 71-64, so he's used the entire arsenal tonight. Wow. 17 for Kobe. Ball off the bench.
Got to run back to him, though. They can't have that big switch there.
Now Ariza wide open on the arc. And a break for the Lakers as Bynum picks it up. Ariza has gone cold. Since he had 5 of his first 6, he's now 6 for 12. And Trevor's got a blocking foul. It's his 3rd, but his first since the first 6 minutes of the game.
And with that, we'll have a timeout and go to a break as Kobe. He has this crowd buzzing a little bit, and they've been buzzing ever since the first half dunk by number 24. 17 points in 23 minutes. And the Lakers up by 7, possession of the ball as the young Kobe Bryant showing off just a bit.
Welcome back to Game 5. Lakers up by 7 with the basketball. And Hall of Fame head coach Phil Jackson. Well, he's a part of some winning combinations just like Pat Riley with the Lakers. Back during Showtime with Michael Cooper. How about 102 wins? Magic Johnson also talking about the most in playoff history. Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan, 105, topped by Tim Duncan with Greg Popovich. Not by much. And there is Derek Fisher and Phil Jackson. 109 victories. Scottie Pippen, 110. And Kobe on top of the list, 116 with Phil Jackson as they go for a 4th three-peat for the Hall of Fame head coach of the Lakers. 2 three-peats with the Bulls. 1 already. 2000, 2001, 2002 with the Lakers. And will it be? And cards for the Lakers as Okafor gets the 3 by Artest that tried to go down. Now in transition. Bellinelli got him out of position. Didn't go to the cup though. It's a 7-point Laker lead as they're up to 55%, 54% for the Hornets. The Lakers 8 of 11 already in the 3rd. Bellinelli knocked away by Gasol and out of bounds with 3 on the shot clock.
Bellinelli, I think, tricked himself that time. Should have went right after that first screen. Should have pulled up for the jumper, but tried to attack and had the shot blocked. So 3 seconds on the shot clock. You don't foul here.
Carl Landry, man, will they get it off? Nope. Off his knee again. Pop free and down off his leg. 71-64, a turnover again for the Hornets. And that is their 13th of the contest. The Lakers have 10. In fact, the Hornets are a +6, even with 3 more turnovers. 16-10 in points off mistakes. Lamar, flat shot, and boy, it was almost like he hadn't had a shot in a while. There's a hold on Lamar. Carl Landry trying to set up at the post. So we're inside of 4. It's only the 3rd team foul on the Lakers. Second on Lamar.
Trying to establish that inside game, they being the Hornets. That helps with their perimeter game. If you have to go help, ask the Lakers. They know all about that.
Chris Paul and Fish doing a good job of jumping it before the pick came out. Now 7 of the shot clock. They're deep again. It'll be Bellinelli.
It's got to go up.
Yep. And on his way down, it's a brick, and it never got the rim. Good job by Kobe to make sure there was no contact on the play. An awkward look, low percentage for kind of a standstill jump shooter, Marco Bellinelli.
He's shooting a lot off of 1 foot on the move. He's not a bad shooter that way, but when you've got a guy riding your right shoulder and you're a right-hander, it makes it that much more difficult.
Bellinelli with 13 points. He's 5 of 10 for the field. Chris Paul just 3 of 7. He's got 13 points, 10 assists. If you're thinking triple-double, just 2 rebounds tonight. He's averaging 7 rebounds a game, though, over the first 4. Now, 3.5 minutes left in the 3rd. Kobe with the much smaller Chris Paul. Perfect pass. Lamar blasted home. I don't think it was intended that way, but it worked.
Wow, that was some basket.
73-64. Chris Paul and Ariza spacing. Right to Okafor and a foul. So interior passing by Trevor Ariza. Free throws coming up for Emeka Okafor. And what about that shot by Lamar?
Well, that was some shot. Kobe finds him. Lamar goes up strong and gets contact with the body. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And if you're both, woo! And Lamar, you were both on that one. Should maybe be on the free throw line, but he'll take the basket nonetheless.
Yeah, they went right across his shoulder. The strength of Lamar. Just get it off the glass and in. So Okafor with the first of 2. Making it once again an 8-point game as we head down to Patrick O'Neal. Patrick.
All right, Joel, thanks a lot. Chris told that great story of the Battle of Kruger, about how the Buffaloes fought back against the Lions and how Monty Williams using it as motivation for his team. I asked Phil Jackson about his motivation. He is the master motivator. He told me, no, not really, but he did work in a movie into the film sessions. That movie, True Grit, this pretty much sums it up for the Lakers and what they're doing and what they need to accomplish to beat this Hornets team. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Patrick. Shannon Brown in for Kobe now. So Kobe 8 of 13. Came into this game shooting 42% in the series. Pau Gasol up against Emeka Okafor. Jump hook in order and going to the line looking for the 3-point play.
Oh, they're saying that Emeka walked under him because Emeka did a good job of keeping his hands basically up. Powell with the jump hook will be going to the line to see if he can complete the 3-point play and put the Lakers up again by their largest margin, which is 11. 2:44 to go in the 3rd. It's going to be a furious 4th. Lakers by 10 with 2:44 to go here in the 3rd. And Pau Gasol, the Lakers' other all-star, along with Kobe Bryant, coming into this game only shooting 40% from the field. But tonight, much better effort from the field. He's shooting 60% on 6 out of 10. He's got 13 total points to go along with 5 rebounds, 4 assists. I'd like to see him bend his knees a little bit more on defense, though, and stop Carl Landry from getting around him quite so easy. But he's having a much better game with still 15-plus minutes to play.
Headed to the free throw line looking for a 3-point play out of the timeout. So the Lakers come back out with Derek Fisher, Shannon Brown in the backcourt. Artest, Odom, and Gasol their front line. Up against Gray, who's just checked in and taken over for Okafor. As Okafor got his 2nd foul. And Powell gets the 3-point play. So the Lakers have just matched their largest lead of the game. Now how do they close out the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the 3rd, up by 11? Can they add to it? Willie Green out there with Chris Paul in the backcourt. It'll be Ariza casting a triple and getting it. Little space against Ron Artest. 8-point game just like that. And Trevor Ariza, his career playoff high is 22. And he's up to 19, which is what he finished with last game.
He's been very consistent the last couple of games for them.
Now Pau Gasol, the run off him up against the big body Aaron Gray. And with a little jumper, Lamar. Boy, good look for Lamar, knocked out by Artest. Maybe Lamar rushed it.
Wow, Lamar normally makes that one 9.5 out of 10 times. I guess that was the half.
He was 1 for 7 last game, 2 for 7 so far tonight with 4 points. Pretty much a wash once again for the two benches. Chris Paul.
Way too much space again.
And Trevor Ariza back-to-back. 76-61 is Artest. Worry about being broken down and beaten off the dribble.
No, he's helping. He's in a help situation too much. Let your big help Derek. Stay at home with that corner shooter.
Ariza fronting Artest. Inside of 10 of the shot clock. And Lamar, a little flat on the shot. And picked up by Gray. 76-71. So right now the back-to-back freeze, and it's going to be Carl Landry with an offensive foul, throwing Lamar out of the way. Another turnover. That's the 15th of the game already, and we haven't played the final 12. 15 on the Hornets.
Yeah, but that 11-point lead that the Lakers enjoyed just seemingly a minute ago, with back-to-back triples by Trevor Ariza. See what that three-point shot does for getting you back in the game.
He's matched his playoff best with 22 points. Now Gasol. And Lamar has got a mismatch. He had Paul. And the foul, they say, on the floor, I believe. Let's see if they send him to the line.
Yeah, that's continuation.
Yep, it should be. And it will be 2 free throws. So Carl Landry just got his third. Originally, they had Chris Paul in the post for some reason, trying to front Lamar.
Well, Chris Paul does a good job of roaming. That's why I was saying earlier that you have to make him play defense. You can't let him just sit back and roam in the middle, because he'll disrupt. That's one of the reasons why he leaves in steals a lot.
Lakers now 6 of 8 at the stripe of the make by Lamar on his first trip to the free throw line. Well, you can save big on your next LakersStore.com purchase. It's all courtesy of Budweiser. You pick up an 18-pack or larger Bud or Bud Light, enter the UPC barcode on LakersStore.com, and you could save up to $20 off your next purchase of Lakers gear. Go to LakersStore.com right now for all the details. Budweiser, official beer of the Lakers. Grab some Buds. Now Lamar with the second. Back to 8, or make it 7 for the Lakers. 78-71. They're up by 7. As Lamar gets the 2 free throws. He's up to 6 with 6 boards. Minute to play in the third. Ariza, deep three this time. And still going. As Gasol picks it up. Man, Willie Green and Shannon Brown got into it. And Landry coming in at the end. But Willie Green and Shannon Brown kind of tangled up when Pau was taking the ball away. And it continued for a few paces up the sideline.
Well, we'll see the proverbial double technical here. Either that or they should go to the monitor and try to decide who did what and was there any retaliation.
52.4 seconds. Left in the third. And here's what it's all about.
Over the top, and Shannon. That's a 2-shot foul regardless if you connect or not. You're not allowed to throw an elbow, and Shannon did throw the elbow, so maybe the Lakers will be better served if they don't go to the monitor.
Yeah, it was a wicked elbow. Fortunately, it didn't make contact with anybody. So Chris Paul to the free throw line. And he'll get the technical. It'll come into the side of the Lakers. 78-72. So 11-15 at the stripe. The Hornets are +4 in makes at the free throw line. Shannon Brown's got a couple of triples. Let's see if he scores here late. He's only taken 4 shots.
The 3-guard lineup that the Hornets are using now. Lakers want to make sure they get in their transition game.
Lamar advantage on Trevor Ariza. Inside out. Brown looking for 3. And Aaron Gray locked up Gasol to let Paul peel away with it. Now Paul on the run, the crossover. Willie Green wide open. And it stays out, but it's picked up by Fish. And Fish has got a foul from Jarrett Jack. Hornets out of fouls. 23.2 to play. And Derek Fisher headed to the stripe.
Well, Derek's trying to throw this ahead to Shannon, and Jarrett Jack from behind with the foul. So D. Fish will be going to the line to shoot 2 with 23 seconds to go here in the third. I knew it was going to be a furious fourth. Maybe it might even be a little bit hotter than I expected.
Fish to the stripe for the first time tonight. He's got 12 points already on a real clean night. 5 of 6 from the field. And the Lakers doing a good job at the free throw line. That'll stay home. They're at 80%, 8 of 10. They've outboarded the Hornets 29-19. Well, the Hornets still don't have a putback. It's 16-0 on second chance points for the Lakers. Points at the paint 2-1 for the Lakers, 40-20. But the three has really kept the Hornets close. They're 9 of 15 from beyond the arc, and especially Bellinelli and Trevor Ariza. Trevor's got 5. Bellinelli's got 3. Trevor 5 of 8 on his threes. 3 of 5 for Bellinelli. Out of his hand, it looks short. And Shannon Brown. Final shot for the Lakers because of the hustle by Shannon Brown.
That's a flat-out hustle play. That's all that was.
79-72, and they're on their feet at Staples. So the Lakers led by 3 at the half. They've expanded it. +4 in the third. What will it be at the end of 3? Fish throwing it away. Ariza would have get it up in time. No, wouldn't count if it went anyway. So the Lakers a positive third, and they go to the fourth in the pivotal game 5, up by 7.
Nice idea by Derek on that last play, but did kind of give it away early, and Trevor read it from Jump Street. We head to the fourth. 12 more minutes of action. Game number 5 tied at 2, and the Lakers take a 7-point advantage into the fourth. We head to the fourth. The Lakers with a 7-point advantage over the Hornets, as the Hornets putting up what a terrific struggle in this series. In the last 2 games, Trevor Ariza has been good, and tonight he's very good. 22 points after 3 quarters on 5 out of 8 shooting from behind the arc. He's made 8 out of 15 overall to lead all scorers in that department. So what a night for Trevor.
Yeah, that's 22 points in 28 minutes, as you mentioned. Now, Chris Paul has started the fourth. He's out there with Jared Jack, Jason Smith, Aaron Gray, and Willie Green. I wonder if he'll play all 12. Backdoor lob, Andrew Bynum, and Gray's got the foul. So Gray picked off on the play, fell asleep a little bit, didn't recover. And boy, the Lakers use that so often.
Well, nice play out of the break, and Gray with the foul. Good foul. I mean, as far as giving up the dunk. So Andrew will go to the line and shoot a pair. He's only been there one other time where he made both.
Averaging a double-double in the series. He's got 12 and 8 so far. And it stays at 12 points. 7-point lead for the Lakers to start the fourth. And I bring up Chris Paul up against Blake, Brown, Barnes, Odom, because the Lakers are resting their starters with the exception now of Andrew Bynum. And we've seen Chris Paul sit down 2 or 3 minutes into the fourth. But I got to believe in a game this important, he'll play all 12. It'll take him to 45. He played 43.5 in game 4.
And he doesn't really exert a lot on the other end. That's one of the reasons why he can play a lot of minutes.
Set it up for Paul's corner 3. And Matt Barnes almost put it in. It's tapped around and picked up by Blake. Lamar Odom. He's got Barnes on the wing, and Barnes got the contact. He'll go to the free throw line. Forget about the basket. Foul. He got cracked across the side of the head, I think, by Willie Green.
Lamar Odom bringing it down in the middle where the ball should be, but a couple of Hornets were trailing, trying to pick him from behind. That's where your teammates have to talk to you, tell you, watch from behind. And he was fortunate enough to get it over to Matt Barnes, and Matt shoots his first free throws of the contest.
He gets the first, up to 3. Bench has made decided. Right now, the Lakers bench has 15. 6 from Brown, 6 from Odom, 3 from Matt Barnes. A combined 11 so far from the bench of the Hornets, led by Willie Green's 8. And all 8 as boy. That set on the lip and dropped back. 10-point Laker lead. All 8 from Willie Green came in about a 4 or 5 minute stretch. So they haven't had much from their other sources. Jared Jack jumping into position and on the run and options. It's knocked away by Matt Barnes. As Jarrett Jack holds his arm, and on the loose ball, it's going to be a charge. Yep, Willie Green drew it, and the Lakers had numbers. So they'll go back on the Lakers' 12th turnover.
Well, you just hate to see that in transition. That's where you always have to make up your mind beforehand about pass and slide. Don't leave your feet. As he left his feet, his momentum carried him right into the defender.
Chris Paul. Now, isolation against Lamar. So they don't get back on the switch. Lamar's got Chris Paul with 10 on the shot clock. And over Lamar. Kid's got some game. 82-74. Chris Paul now has 16 points. And Lamar, he wasn't broken down. He tried to challenge him.
Still, you have to run him off of that. What I say by that is whoever got picked off has to come over, double him up, and then Lamar can get back to his man.
Inside at 10 of the shot clock. Good pass, Steve Blake. Andrew Bynum headed to the line looking for a three-point play. It was Blake's entry.
Good job with the left hand by Andrew. Not only the left hand, but the stop, get to contact. Nice touch. Three-point opportunity as Andrew's going to the line, see if he can put the Lakers back up by 11 as Emeka Okafor comes back in. Out goes Aaron Gray.
19 assists for the Lakers tonight, the second for Steve Blake. And Andrew Bynum just split a pair at the line. He's got 15 points, 8 rebounds. And the Lakers have great balance. 15 from Drew, 14 from Gasol, 17 from Kobe, 13 from Derek Fisher. So solid balance as Paul was almost picked clean from behind Steve Blake. It's an 11-point Laker lead. That's their largest of the game once again.
See, now this is where a guard has to come over. See, they
leave him alone. Man, Chris Paul can't burn him. It'll be saved. No.
Off of Shannon Brown.
Yeah. And the best thing could have been for the Lakers just to box out like a rebound and let it go out of bounds off Chris Paul's shot.
Absolutely. All they had to do. But Andrew was chasing it down along with Emeka Okafor. That's where you fake like you're going to go, and then all of a sudden you stop and start backing up. Okafor's momentum was going to carry him out of bounds. He would have had to try to throw it back in, and you've got space to make a play on the ball.
Well, I mentioned they take him out. Chris Paul sits down here in the fourth, so he will not play a 45-minute game. How long does he go out for? Willie Green on the run out. And it's going to be 3 in the key on Okafor. It's going the other way. 9:55 to play. 17 turnovers on New Orleans. 12 on the Lakers, so 29 combined. That's a lot in a game this big.
Yeah, you can't turn the basketball over that much and expect to have a victory. And both teams have turned it over too much.
Bynum, isolation. Man on the dive, Shannon Brown, fall away time. And Barnes keeps it alive. Fresh shot clock. The second chance point, so critical for the Lakers tonight. And an opportunity for more. It'll be Lamar. That's 18-0 in second chance opportunities for the Lakers. And their biggest lead of the game on the bucket by Lamar, 87-74.
And they've got to try to expand it, obviously, now, especially with Chris Paul sitting down for a while.
Bellinelli. He fumbled it. Yeah, he lost it on the way up and never recovered it. And that was an automatic layup. A break for the Lakers as Bellinelli was lost running off the ball. Lamar back to back. A good look. Barnes unattended and blocked by Okafor. Bynum gets it though, and it'll be a hold. Jason Smith. So Okafor looked like he had the ball, but Jason Smith had the arm, and that'll take us to a timeout.
8:56 to go here in the fourth quarter. Lakers up by their largest lead, trying to expand on it with free throws.
The Lakers have their biggest lead of the game. They also have free throws coming up. Well, this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, it's going to be Torrey Hunter and the Angels headed to Tampa, taking on the Rays. Two of the American League's best go at it. Fox Saturday Baseball, though it's been a real slow start for the Rays this year. Fox Saturday Baseball, special time, 9:30 this week in baseball. Now the second chance points, we were talking about points of the paint and the Lakers' total domination tonight. 42 to 20 points of the paint, 18-0 in second chance points. And you see how close it was between the two over the first 4 games. Andrew Bynum out of the timeout, going to the free throw line. He's fouled by Jason Smith. Now the Lakers, after the Hornets get 13 of the first 16 shots, and they led it 32-23 at the end of the first quarter. The Lakers have taken over. They outscored New Orleans in the second 12 by 12 points, by 4 in the third, and they're up right now 9-2 is their start over the first 3 minutes and 4 seconds of the fourth. So they've done the job.
Next 3 minutes really vital for the Lakers, especially Kobe, because if they could continue with this lead and maybe even build a little bit, 2 or 3 more, that could get Kobe even maybe a chance not even to enter here in the fourth.
Jared Jack running the point with Chris Paul on the sideline. 12 of the shot clock. And Jared Jack not close. Landry surrounded. Blake in from behind. It was Lamar trying to box him out with Barnes. And Blake almost walked with the basketball trying to get rid of it. 8.5 to play. Everything working for the Lakers, up by 15. Steve Blake thought about it. Now Andrew Bynum with the block. And with the spin, he spins right in. He kind of throws the arm into Okafor.
The spin was good, but he's got to keep his elbow closer to his body on that play, because the elbow, his right elbow, comes away from the body and gets contact. That's where they called the foul. And I know what Andrew's saying. He's saying he's rooting me. He's rooting me. Well, you got to make that move without getting your elbow away from your body.
Nobody in foul trouble for the Lakers. That is just the third on Andrew Bynum.
Carry.
Yep. It'll go back to the Lakers on turnover number 18. And by the way, the Hornets are out of fouls the rest of the game. The Lakers do not have a team foul yet. So the Lakers have a lot of things working in their favor. Shannon Brown up against Willie Green.
Keep an eye on those two. They've been at each other for quite some time now.
Lamar had an early seal. They didn't see that. Now deep into the shot clock. Andrew Bynum moving off the ball. Got to go. Brown knows it. The triple. Grazes the front of the rim. So Shannon Brown, after hitting those 2 early triples, is now 2 for 7. Mid-range game. Willie Green can't find it. Andrew Bynum does. And Andrew's got a double-double now. He's got 18 and 10. Well, the Lakers continue to dominate on the glass.
Well, the Hornets getting prepared for their last push as Paul is checking in right now.
First foul is on Matt Barnes, the first in the fourth on the Lakers. So Lamar was trying to seal the deal early with that triple. And Phil Jackson up did not like the shot selection at all. So Chris Paul is back into the game. He joins Okafor. Jared Jack's going to stay in the backcourt. Landry will bring it in. Willie Green sits down. So 7:22 to play. Comfortable cushion, but will it last for the Lakers?
Got to step up on 3-point shooters.
Landry doubled. Man, in no man's land. It'll be Jared Jack. Batted out though. Bellinelli on the run. Floater. Used the glass effectively. 89-76. So Bellinelli now with 15.
And they get 2 points on second chance opportunities.
First time. 20-2 Lakers in that department. 20-4 New Orleans. Last game. Totally different story tonight. Skipping it across. Blake, quick catch and shoot. Got it. Andrew on the assist. Saw him. I guess that tall, you'll see the floor pretty well. And it was space. Lakers doing a good job. Chris Paul thought about it, but it's early in the shot clock. But it's late in the game for them now. How often does he lose the handle? He's up against Matt Barnes.
He's just so confident he can do what he wants, so he's just toying right now.
Barnes stays in front of him. Ball away. Man, what is Matt Barnes going to do? 92-78. Stayed in front of him. He still got it, though. 18 for Paul.
Those are the kind of plays where I talk about it. Looks like he can score whenever he wants.
Chris Paul 5 of 11 from the field. Matt Barnes going to the free throw line. And that's the advantage for the Lakers to get into the bonus that early on the penetration, the contact, and out of the timeout. Opportunities to stripe for Matt Barnes.
Well, we've got 5:57 to play here in the fourth. The Lakers up by 14, just 2 shy of their biggest lead of the game. And Chris Paul, well, that's why they're only down 14. His last deuce was something special.
Last Last season, the Lakers faced the exact situation they're facing in the first round this year. They were tied at 2 apiece with Oklahoma City, came home, took care of business, and then the dramatic Game 6 in Oklahoma City as Pau Gasol took the Kobe miss on the putback, beating Serge Ibaka for the paint. A dramatic situation. The Lakers prevailed, and the Lakers were in these situations 3 out of 4 times in the playoffs last year, succeeding each and every time on their way to their 2nd consecutive title as Matt Barnes splits a pair out of the timeout. And the Lakers are up by 15. Their largest lead has been 16, 93-78. 5:48 to play. Joel Myers, Stu Lance, Patrick O'Neal, Chris McGee back at Staples Center. 10 on the shot clock for Chris Paul. Time for one more run. And Bellinelli, instead of taking the deep three, going to the line to shoot 2. Stops the clock with 5:37 to play. And there was only 4 left on the shot clock when they fouled him. Jarrett Jack sits down, and now Trevor Ariza for the duration.
A nice recognition by Bellinelli that time as he noticed a seam going to his left and gets fouled by the Lakers, knocking down the first of 2.
Well, your chance now, all the kids ages 9 through 18, boys and girls of all skill levels. Your basketball skills, they can improve for the Lakers players and staff. Get world-class instruction. 12th annual Camp Lakers, sponsored by Dazity, taking place right here in LA this June and July. Register now. You get all the details at Lakers.com. Lamar Odom out there with Pau Gasol back into the game, and so is Kobe and Ron Artest joining Derek Fisher. So Fisher inside, 14 of the shot clock off the Kobe pick. Got a mismatch. Kobe going to it. And in trouble. Little step through. It'll be Lamar. On his way down, gets the free throws. They're letting him play, and I'm talking about in the paint. Because Monty Williams wanted 3 in the key. If he doesn't get one there, he'll never get one.
Lakers were camped quite a bit as Kobe got trapped in the paint. He gets in there. Lamar's in there. Lamar's in there. Lamar's in there. Then he steps out. So it wouldn't have been on Lamar. So free throws coming. And see what the Lakers can do about winning this one at the free throw line.
Lamar's been there once, hit both opportunities. And the Lakers are 15 of 20 at the strike. Make it 16 of 21. All the free throws came early over the first 2.5 quarters for the Hornets. They're 13 of 17. The Lakers +3 in makes right now, leading by 14.
And you can see Lamar struggling from the field, though. Only 3 out of 11. Does have 7 rebounds to go along with now his 10th point.
And the Lakers are +14 in the glass. So they were challenged by their head coach when Phil Jackson said they were pumped in New Orleans because of the disparity in their size, but the difference, they were out rebounded 39-32 tonight. It's 37-23 Lakers on the glass. Now Chris Paul deep into the shot clock. Landry, a show, a go, and 2 free throws on the hold by Lamar. You know, the best thing they can do is score with the clock stopped. After Bellinelli shot free throws, now it's going to be Carl Landry.
That's all happens with the attention that you have to spend on Chris Paul. I mean, he's dribbling, he gets that screen, and then everybody else is starting to peek. And a lot of times when you peek and turn your head, you can get beaten very easily.
So Landry has helped them repeatedly in this series. Even an undersized Carl Landry misses the first of 2. He had only missed 1 free throw coming into the game. He was 24 of 25 over the first 4 games of the series. Tonight, though, he is 1 of 3. And the Hornets have now missed 5 at the strike on their 18 tries. 1 of 2. And it's a 14-point game once again. 95-81 Lakers. It's only 5 minutes remaining in regulation. The Lakers can afford to work it in their half-court set and take their time. Shoved by Bellinelli, free throws for Artest, and that helps the Lakers going to the line the rest of the game.
No, this is the first trip there for Ron Artest. He's looking to get into double figures here. He's 4 out of 7 from the field for 9 points, and he's been more than a handful for Bellinelli.
He'll be the last Lakers starter to get into double figures, and he does exactly that with 10. Gasol's got 14. Drew's got 18. Bynum leads the Lakers with 18 points, also leads on the glass with 10. 17 for Kobe, 13 for Fish. And now the Laker bench up to 24 points from the reserves. There's a big difference between the bench score. 24-11 Lakers. And Artest gives the Lakers their largest lead, matching it at 16.
Lakers can't look up at that scoreboard, though. They've got to continue to focus on the next 440 in this game.
Chris Paul. Ariza, little step back, step through. Man, loose ball, picked up by Bischoff Artest. But now time running out completely on the Hornets. But a giveaway, as I say that, no. Lakers get it right back. No change of the shot clock as they never gained possession. And Artest just got Bellinelli out of the way. Threw him out of bounds.
Bellinelli's been like a pinball tonight. He has really been bounced around by Ron Artest.
They're just not in the same weight class. I mean, when he gets close to the rim against Bellinelli, it's just not fair. So 4:15 left. The Lakers 22-0 on their home floor in a Game 5 when it's tied at 2. You like their chances right now a lot. Landry denied. There were 2 there. Bellinelli on the curl. And showed a little bit more as he goes on that runner again to make it 14. So they've got 19 from Bellinelli, by far offensively his best game of the series.
He's recognizing that the defenders are running at him, so he's just catching it and putting it on the floor and getting past the first defender and then pulling up in no man's lane.
He ended 7 of 28, 25% over the last 3. Gasol coming away empty, but a fresh shot clock, and the Lakers should take advantage of it with 3.5 to play. Kobe, tightrope, and then flips it over his shoulder. He'll go to the free throw line. So there was still 17 on the clock, but he was going up with it.
Well, he's been getting around Trevor Ariza in this game pretty easily. I mean, Trevor's been up on him, and Trevor's a real good defender, but Kobe's off the dribble. He's really done a good job of getting into the paint. That time, drawing the foul after going around Trevor, drawing the foul on Okafor.
Fortunately, with the lead, Kobe's been only needed for 28 minutes. And normally Phil Jackson plays him for the first 12, but he did sit him down with 3 minutes left in the first 12. Brought in Shannon Brown, so slightly different in the rotation, but the luxury of a big lead has certainly helped.
And that's the luxury that they would just like to have a lot. 3.5 or 3:28 to be exact, left to go here in the fourth.
Kobe has actually played the fewest minutes of the 5 starters, which is rare. So now the Lakers back up by 16, 99-83. You always worry with a guy like Paul as Ariza trying to create. Van Okafor, he'd been in there a half hour too, but he's going to get free throws out of it. And he was whacked from behind. It'll be a foul, I believe, on Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe gets the foul. Okafor went down. I think he's more than okay. Going to the line where he's 1 out of 2 in this ball game. It's a good foul. He's playing the ball, but he gets the head. He doesn't get any of the ball, but he does get a lot of the forehead and head of Okafor.
That's an old school foul. Now they call it a flagrant. He'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. But that's an old school hard foul. So Okafor, they said he wasn't going to last. He had that string broken in February of this year where he had played 306 consecutive games. And they said he was not going to be able to stay healthy. He had back problems a little bit in his last 2 years at UConn, former National College Player of the Year. But he has been a force coming over to New Orleans from Charlotte, where he was taken as the second player in the 2004 draft in the deal for Tyson Chandler. And what a postseason it's been for Tyson Chandler. 20 rebounds in the game for Chandler with 16 points last night as the Mavericks and the Blazers get together once again tomorrow night in Game 6 at the Rose Garden. 2 misses, and that should just about do it. 3-minute game, and the Lakers can work the clock. Just get out of here healthy.
Again, Powell coming from weak to strong. I mean, that's a recipe that he should really live on, because he gets that call more when he tries to set up on the strong side. We've got a timeout. The Lakers up big.
Hello.
16-point advantage for the Los Angeles Lakers with 2:59 to go here in the fourth. And, you know, Derek Fisher really takes a lot of criticism. Everybody's on him about, you know, he's old and slow. But the guy just goes out and plays a very efficient game the majority of the time. I mean, tonight, for example, he's got 13 points, on 5 out of 6 shooting from the field. I'd say that's pretty efficient, and making big shots when it looks like the Lakers are going to have a 24-second violation or something of that nature. But, you know, and I think Derek understands that it's going to go with the territory, because he's playing in a system where he's not asked to do much as far as score. He's asked to just steady the ship, and he steadies the ship both on the floor and in the locker room.
There's a reason we call him the Bulldog, too, and it's especially for this time of the year. He's just tough. He doesn't back down. He doesn't lay on picks. He battles through. He creates contact, creates offensive fouls on the opposition. Big guys are moving most of the time to begin with. And Derek's one of the reasons the starters tonight are 29 of 49 for the field. The bench, dismal, 7 of 23. So while the Lakers as a group are shooting 50%, starters are way above that. Starters have great balance again tonight.
And Kobe out of the game, and it's a good thing. I think it's good to get him as much rest as possible on that ankle.
Lakers have the biggest lead of the game. They've got the basketball.
Lamar with the block.
It'll be Shannon Brown. And Chris Paul coming the other way. So 2.5 minutes, 18-point game. Lakers go to close it out in New Orleans 2 nights from now. And try to avoid more wear and tear and too many possibilities with a game 7 that would be here at Staples on Saturday. Chris Paul denied. It's off Artest, and it's going out of bounds. Actually, Artest hit it, but Chris Paul must not have known it, because he didn't want to touch it.
Chris was acting like he couldn't touch it again, or else it had been called for double dribble or traveling, and as a result, the Lakers get possession. So now they should, run their offense, use up the clock. Not all of it, but don't take a shot with 5 seconds elapsed off to 24.
15 of the Lakers' 40 boards at the offensive end. 22-2 in second chance points. That's a shellac. Bellinelli on the reverse.
Very hard to try to make those kind of passes with Trevor Ariza being the defender, because he slides, and dives. You've got to almost bait him into that, then spin on him and throw it more to the rim.
Now Gasol coming strong side. He's got to go up. Shot clock down, and he should be taking a jumper over Okafor. Okafor took it away and saves it. They're letting him play. Bellinelli, not the guy to hit in transition on the move.
He just noticed the blue jersey and threw it to him.
It's late in the game. Chris Paul, mid-range. So Chris Paul took 12 shots tonight. He made 6 of them. 20 points, 12 assists. But for them to force a game 7, Chris Paul has to be a lot more aggressive. And we've talked about trying to get his teammates involved. I don't think they have a prayer unless he shoots a lot of shots.
Well, he's got 20 and 12 tonight. Normally that's just really all-star numbers. But with the kind of lineup they have right now, he has to have 30 and 15, 30 and 16. And getting everybody involved, but at the same time doing what he does for them to be the team they need to be to win game 6.
Shannon Brown, first of 2, 83%. That's the operative number. So when you win game 5 in a best of 7 that's tied at 2, 83%. Surprised it's not higher. I think it'd be even 90 or more. Shannon Brown. So Ewing, Patrick Ewing Jr. and Quincy Pondexter. Fresno native out of Washington checking into the game. First round pick who's asking for it right now. He's got the size on Shannon Brown. Final minute of a very strong last 3 quarters for the Lakers. Patrick Ewing Jr. showing his range. Down to 13 with 51 seconds left.
Well, he did not hesitate. He just caught it, shot it, and scored.
Yeah, and he was the last cut of the New York Knicks. He can play. Now Lamar, he can do it too. 6th man of the year, I guess he can. 16-point lead. Lamar up to 13 with 7 boards. And 2 things stand out. Second chance points as Willie Green comes up short. And more than anything else, the Lakers bench. The Lakers bench has 29 points and only 11 points from the reserves of the Hornets. So when I bring up Chris Paul scoring more, he doesn't have a lot of other sources. He needs to score more because they're not going to get a lot from their bench And some of the other guys like Okafor, 5 points again tonight.
Let's see if the Lakers shoot. There's a difference in the shot clock.
That'll do it. It is all over. And the Lakers win crucial Game 5 at Staples. They rolled away late in the third, took control of the game for good early in the fourth.
Obviously a very nice win for the Lakers. They're up 3-2 now, but you can't rely on home court. Anything can happen in a Game 7. They've got to take the mental attitude that we've got to go down to New Orleans and get Game 6.
16-point win for the Lakers. Yes, we're ready to go to New Orleans, but first downstairs to Patrick O'Neal. Patrick.
Thanks very much. With Andrew Bynum, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Andrew, you guys were thoroughly dominating on the offensive glass, and you were confident if you did that, you would win tonight.
Yeah, you know, we came out, played aggressive. They got off from the start, but we were able to play aggressive defensively, come back into the game, and then we started to dominate offensively.
Pretty much out-rebounded them by 20. They had almost no second-chance points till the fourth quarter. How key was that for you tonight?
Huge. They were beating us all the 50-50 balls back in New Orleans, so that's a conscious effort on our part and focus to try to get those balls tonight, and we did.
They had such a strong first quarter, shot 83%. Second unit came in that second quarter, really provided a spark.
Yeah, they went out there, they were aggressive to score, but, you know, they played defense. We all played defense tonight, kept this team to 90.
Well, you got a healthy Kobe, sure looked like it. Now you're going to New Orleans in 2 days. Are you confident with this type of effort you guys will close this series out?
Yeah, you know, we have to. We have to go there and close them out. Nothing else. Everything else is a failure.
Thank you very much. Andrew Bynum and the Los Angeles Lakers continue their dominance in Game 5s. When we come back, Phil McDonald, Norm Nixon, Kurt Rambis, Lakers Live. I'm going to hit the Lakers locker room for some interviews. So don't go anywhere. Coming back in a second.